Hey guys, I'm Matt Langford and this is my Champion 188CX. Come and have a look. It's been a while since I've introduced my boat and shown you guys exactly how I've got my setup going, but this is my ultimate setup. 2021 tournament season is going to be awesome. We've got the boat exactly the way I want it. This is like my dream boat. Come and check it out with me. I'll show you what the deal is. On the front, starting with the front electronics, this is where all the magic happens up the front. I spent a lot of time up on the front of the deck, but without my electronics, it's obviously the most important part when I'm fishing. On the very front, the bow mount electric motor is a Garmin force trolling motor. One of the most reliable pieces of equipment that I've ever had. It's the most powerful electric motor that I've had. It's nice and quiet, it's got a brushless motor, and I've put countless hours over the last 2.5 years with this machine. It's put a lot of work in and it hasn't let me down since. Moving on to my electronics on the front, I've got two Garmin 8412s, so the 84 series GPS map sounders. They're the best sounders that I've used. I've used a couple of different varieties, but these guys are awesome. They got high definition, fast processing unit, and it just shows me everything that I need to see when I'm fishing. The one on the right is a standalone live scope unit, so I run all my live scope when I'm looking for fish and sounding, that sort of stuff. On the left, I use my GPS, my traditional sonar, and my clear view just when I'm looking for depths and trying to distinguish structure and that sort of stuff. But without these two units on the front of my deck, it's just totally important that I utilise them, and the way that I've got it set up is just spot on. Moving through the boat a little bit more, I've just got the whole fully redone by Mark at Marine Works in Scarborough in Brisbane. He's done a little bit of work on my boat over the last few years, but what he's actually done this time is brilliant. He's sanded it all down, made sure that there's no imperfections under there. It's not a new boat by any means, but when you've got guys like Mark working on it, it's just phenomenal. He's done a fantastic job, and this year I'll be sliding across the top of the water a lot quicker than I usually do. Full Garmin wrap with displaying all my awesome supporters. Thanks to Richard Potter at X Factor Signs. He did this for me last year. Awesome support from all my sponsors, but Richard does a fantastic job with the wraps. It's probably one of the best I've ever had, and he knows his stuff, so really stands out in the water, protects my boat, and yeah, looks like the part when I'm on the water in the tournaments. Moving to the back of the boat, we'll worry about the inside when we get there, but done a lot of work at the rear of the boat. This is where that's most important because this is what pushes us along. I've got a 200 Mercury Pro XS on the back. I've had this for a couple of years now, and it's done a lot of work for me. I've got about 650 to 700 hours on this thing. I do a lot of guiding and a lot of tournaments, but as far as hours go, it's still got a lot left and it's been super reliable. I've had the whole lower unit replaced. The skeg had a bit of damage because I like to use my motor in tight places, and it does get banged around a bit, but we've had all that fixed thanks to the guys at Brisbane Marine. But the most important thing this year, I wanted to change my jack plate. I just had a manual jack plate. It was a real headache to try and get my jack plate moving up and down, particularly with what I've done in the back, and we'll get to that shortly. But the Seastar jack plate, hydraulic jack plate, all I have to do now is hit a lever, it'll move it up and down, and I can get that trim just perfect. Now the reason why I had to put the Seastar jack plate in is because of what's happening in the back. So I'm going to get up on the back of the boat and I'm going to show you what the deal is inside. So obviously the motor is very important, but what runs everything, the electronics and my jump start, all that sort of stuff happens right in here. Now the coolest part of this is my Invicta and hybrid lithium system that I've got going here is probably the best powered unit that I've ever had. So I've got a 24 volt Invicta lithium battery, one of the best batteries that I've had. I can monitor how the usage is going via an app on my phone. I can tell you how much I've used, and I can get at least 3 to 4 days of operation with that Garmin Force electric motor just from that 24 volt battery. It's been fantastic, and like I said, I can monitor the usage via an app on my phone. But the cool thing is the Seal Performance hybrid lithium, the 12 volt here, is probably one of the coolest things that I've had. It runs my electronics, so I run 4 Garmin sounders, 3 8412 sounders and a 74 as my GPS unit, just a map. But this battery will run those for 2 days, 8 hours a day for 2 days non-stop. So I can get tons and tons of usage out of it. I can get jump starts out of it also, and obviously it's my cranking battery as well. But the really cool thing about it, as I said, it has a jump start feature on it. So if my battery does happen to go flat, which it doesn't very often, but it has happened to me before, I've got a push button jump start on it. What I'll do is I press the jump start feature. It will give me 3 seconds, enough time for me to get to the helm, kick it over, and get that battery or get that motor kicking over again. So it's a really cool battery, and they call it the hybrid because of that feature. It has that little extra pack in there to jump start the battery when I need to. The other cool thing about the inside of this too is my charging units. I've got 2 chargers, onboard chargers. They're all connected. Basically all I do is pull out one cord, connect it, and they charge automatically for us. And I can just leave it there until I'm ready to use it for the next time. So moving right along into the workstation here. But basically when I'm on the water and I'm searching, one of the most important things obviously is the helm. I need to make sure that I have eyes on my mapping. So GPS mapping and contour mapping, underwater mapping is just so important because not a lot of people utilize it enough, and I've got a standalone 7-inch GPS unit here to do that for me. Every time I get on the water, I turn it on and I make sure I'm mapping. So that the coolest thing is about the Garmin units is we do have contour mapping and we can record as we go. I've got another 12-inch 84 series sounder here. Basically I use it for my clear view, my traditional sonar, my side imaging if I'm chasing the bigger species like barra or cod, but mainly my traditional, my clear view, and my live scope. If I'm guiding or I'm searching for fish with the live scope, then this is where the 84 really shines out in this situation. But the really cool thing is I've got plenty of electronics to see what I'm doing. I've got my GPS unit here, standalone, and it all works perfectly for me. Now, as I was saying, the cool thing about the workstation at the front here, not only is the GPS map sounders by Garmin, but it's also the few little Railblazer products that I've got too. So I've got my phone mount here. I'm using my sounders. I can also use my Garmin Active Captain app on my phone. I can check my batteries. And the cool little Railblazer product here is just your simple phone mount. It's got a starport mount, so I can change this if I need to. I can just pull it out like that and I can put in a boom pole, or I could put a whatever I wanted to in there with a star mount by Railblazer. But this little phone mount just is so handy because I can be flying up the dam at 100 k's an hour, have that phone locked in, and it's all good. But yeah, that's a cool product. But the other cool thing is too, where I keep all my trinkets and bits and pieces, is the Railblazer tackle caddy, and I'll show you that now. So the Railblazer tackle caddy is a new product they released this year, the start of 2021, and it's been a really important little storage unit for my boat. Obviously I can keep all my pliers, my lures, my snips, all that stuff in one easy maintainable place, and it just it restricts the clutter on your boat and everything's easy to access. So I've got things like scents, sprays, glues, and I can put lures inside the actual tackle caddy itself. I can store drinks in there if I need to, but all the little trinket holders on the outside too, so it just keeps everything nice and organised. But moving up the boat even further, in this little hatch here, obviously my rain gear is seriously important. So I've got my buck and bash rain gear, I've got my life jackets, and I've also got some other tackle storage in there too, lots of small soft plastics. All my Garmin black boxes and stuff are also inside this hatch, but it's seriously important to make sure that you've got all that safety equipment there, and the extra storage in the Champion 188 really goes a long way. So this side we've got life jackets and our wet gear. On this side We've got our rod locker storage. We've got a rod locker full of millers. On top when I'm using my gear, I've got my tie down straps, 13 reels, miller rods. Everything's just laid out nice and neat on the deck for when I want to use it. So if I'm in a tournament scenario, I've got everything laid out so I can see it. Simple, I can just pick it up and use it when I need to. Right in front of you here also is my tackle storage. This is obviously one of the most important things too, because without tackle we just simply can't catch fish. So tons and tons of storage. I've got a bottomless pit of storage in here. Lots of different varieties of lures, whether it's soft plastic, jig heads, you name it, it's all stored in here. Super important to make sure that you've got your tackle storage maintained, you've got everything organised. But yeah, the cool thing about this Champion boat is there's plenty of tackle storage. And last but not least, up the front, the actual workbench here, you'll notice there's a raised section on my boat here. When I was actually recarpeting the boat, a good mate of mine, Joey Allen, told me I should, you know, if I'm standing up the deck a lot and I'm fishing, I've put padded or closed cell foam padding underneath the carpet. So when I'm standing up the front and I'm fishing, I'm using my foot pedal with the Garmin Force. I can be standing on padding, and you know, you have a big 12-hour day standing on the front. That padded front deck really saves your back, saves your legs, and just yeah, it makes it a lot easier for you. But guys, that is the 2021 tournament setup. This also doubles as my charter boat as well, because I also run Australian freshwater fishing charters. But this is the ultimate unit, fully set up, tournament rigged and ready for 2021. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'd love to see your boat too. So if you could show us your boat, that'd be awesome. But this is my boat for 2021 tournament season.